Tennessee basketball. Tennessee with a transfer, and I'm not sure how this should be judged as DJ Jefferson enters the transfer portal. I don't have a really good feel for him as a player to this point. What do you make of DJ Jefferson?
Well, he follows Freddie DeLeon, another kind of wing backcourt scorer entering the portal. I think Rick Barnes is clearing up space to get a few guys in the transfer portal. That's what I think is happening. And because they are very high on Cameron Carr, Zakai's probably coming back. Jemai Meshack is still there. I think they got a couple of other options. I think Rick Barnes is clearing space to get the next Dalton Connect in the portal. And I think that's what he's doing. We
or why not two to give yourself options?
He might be doing that.
You may not. Let's say, for instance, you get a slasher who can't shoot outside, and you get a guy who's a great spot up 3-point shooter. Neither one of them can do both like Dalton Connect could, but you're a better basketball team because you got two guys with a great skill set.
Yes. That's a very good point. And they might be doing that. They might be going your route and going for a big guy just because Donovan Clingan just held Zach Edey off yesterday, and that was enough for UConn to win. And if Tennessee had a guy like that, they beat Purdue. Toby Waka. I mean, no, someone with a lot more control than Uros Plastic, but like Toby Waka, if Toby Waka had 4 more inches, it'd be him. JP Estrella, if he had a little more weight on him, it'd be him. Jonas Adu is just the softest person in the world. I'm sorry. Jonas Adu, I'm going to give him hell all summer. He's not going to like me because that was the mentally weakest game I've ever seen anybody play. He took himself out of the game. I went back and rewatched it, Dave. He took himself out of the game. He should be embarrassed by what he let Zach Edey do to him.
They will take you out of your house if that's what you want. Boundless Moving, from a 2-hour minimum to turnkey operations, they've got you covered. Boundless Moving in Charlotte and East Tennessee. Just Google Boundless Moving. Tell them Off the Hook Sports sent you. Also want to thank our friends at City Heating and Air Conditioning, 50 years in East Tennessee. Integrity matters. Don't trust a fly-by-night HVAC company to tell you that you need a new unit when maybe you just need a new part. That might save you thousands of dollars. cityheatandair.com, cityheatandair.com. Certainly check them out. So does Tennessee, I believe that the way college basketball is going to shake out is the way I think football has been a step ahead. And partly that was because you had a basketball season that was completely canceled at the end of it because of the COVID timing. So I think football is ahead. And I think football has realized that you're going to pay the guys that can transfer in and help you. So if that's what Rick Barnes is doing, clearing space, it's a little bit risky, but it's not a lot risky because with what Tennessee has done and his reputation, it's not like he's starting off at 28 saying, hey, guys, I've got this plan. I'm going to run off the guys that you played really hard with and then bring in better players. Hopefully everybody will mesh. You have a lot more say in the matter when you've been a coach for 30 years and you have, 700 wins?
Yeah, something like that. UConn is the formula because UConn had one player, Cam Spencer, who they picked out through the transfer portal this past year, who was kind of their Dalton Connect because he was a veteran and just wanted to develop. And then they had 3 returning starters, and then they added a 5-star recruit. Now, I don't think we're going to see Tennessee get any more 5-star recruits like that for one and dones in the future. They don't fit Rick Barnes. I will tell you this, Dave, I've backed off the whole not going for big men in the transfer portal because Aaron Bradshaw, Kentucky's 7-1 center, just entered the portal with Calipari leaving.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure you and I are on the same page. You don't like one and dones out of high school, but you're not saying you dislike one and dones out of another college, a transfer guy, right?
Yeah, I don't mind one and done transfer guys. I think there's a maturity. I think there's a maturity level for one and done transfer guys that's not there for freshmen.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're on the same page. Apex Apparel Group Design. Check out this shirt. It's awesome. This is my TriStar Hats Co. shirt. They made that for me. Apex Apparel. 15% off your first order if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Just call Tyler 865-919-3001. Call Tyler 865-919-3001, and they will take care of you. Spirit wear, no matter if you're talking about promo products or what the case might be. Do you think this hurts Tennessee's, the way they're viewed, that they've lost a couple of players pretty close together? How big of a concern is that?
No, this is par for the course. Everybody freaks out when the players hit the portal and they don't, and then they forget that they freak out without realizing that they can add players. This was not just basketball. This was football. When all those players were entering the portal back in December, Josh Heupel, everybody was like, is something wrong with Tennessee football? Is this an issue? No. Josh Heupel nudged every defensive back under the sun into the portal. He wasn't sitting there losing guys. He was nudging them to the portal.
I used to think that negative recruiting was a thing that you could say, oh man, they've lost a couple of those guys. I don't know what's going on. And I still think negative recruiting is a thing, but I don't think losing guys is one anymore, because I think guys realize they are contractors, and school A, school B, school D, school C, whatever the case may be. Didn't mean that for that to rhyme, but who can provide me the best opportunity to showcase my talents? That's a school I'm going with. And if you're going to judge me for it, other player at other school, well, then you're going to be in the minority, because most of the kids are going to back most of the kids, right?
Yes, exactly. And so I think if Tennessee loses 2 guys to the transfer portal, but they get Aaron Bradshaw out of Kentucky and plug him in at center next year, and then they find the next Dalton Connect in the portal this year, no one's going to be complaining. And I think that's actually Rick Barnes' plan. I think Rick Barnes is planning to – you talked about the renaissance in college basketball, Dave, and it really showed you don't have to dominate on the inside, but you have to hold your own, because
I'll tell you what, I went out of my way to watch that game last night. And I don't know that without having some sort of I like Duke, North Carolina basketball just as a fan. I'm not a fan, but just as an admirer of it, tends to always be a great game. Without that, I've always found what Kansas has done interesting. Without something intriguing, which they had in 2 big men, I don't know that I would have gone out of my way to make sure I watched every bit of the game. You probably would if you're younger, don't have kids quite yet.
Well, I was fighting an upset stomach all day yesterday, so I was in bed watching the game, funny enough, but felt better last night. I was just tired by then. But yeah, it was – I agree. I still probably would have gone out of my way to watch the game. I like inside-out basketball too. Now, I don't like Kevin McHale just sticking in the paint all game basketball, but sorry to take a shot at your old Celtics, Dave.
I like it.
You know.
And I shorted Rick Barnes some wins, 800 wins. My bad. There is the post in the message board. We'd love for you to sign up for Hoopers Corner. You can be a John, just $8.98. $8. Wait, $9.98 a month, and you can be a winner of weekly prizes and grand prizes. So we thank Sports Treasures for being a part of that.